Everyone, it's Coach Velia with your coaching tip of the day. Excited to be here with you guys this beautiful afternoon. I'm enjoying the sunshine and the wind. Wanted to share with you guys a little bit about what's been on my heart. A lot of individuals, right, including myself, because I went through this for a very long time, have a really hard time focusing on ourselves. We're so worried about helping everybody else out. Hi, Yesenia. Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. So it's really weird because I talk about stuff and I still get caught up in it many times where I'm worried about other people. I'm making sure they're okay. I'm calling them to check in on them. And I realize, why don't I ever do that for myself as much as I do it for other people? Like, it's okay to check in on people, but I know a lot of us get so focused on helping other people and checking on everybody else that by the time we have to focus on ourselves, we're really exhausted. And then with that comes a lot of negative self-talk. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta take care of myself. I gotta get on a healthy regimen. But we don't really focus on ourselves. And there's quite a few reasons why we don't do that. And I've seen this in my experience. So I kind of wanted to share this with you guys to encourage you to once again tap back into your own experiences, tap into your life, assess your situation, and find out if these are healthy habits that you can create for yourself that you might be able to start practicing in your daily life. Okay, so you hear a lot of, like, eat better, exercise, but nobody really sits down and really makes a plan for their lives and checks every single day to make sure they're following through. So this is what I want to encourage you guys to do. More than anything, I think that it's very easy for us to help other people because we're on the outside looking in. So when you see somebody in need, it comes very natural to you to maybe want to help them. For those of you that have servant hearts and they want to be out there helping people, because you're seeing it from the outside. So I encourage people a lot to jump out of their own lives and take a look at themselves from the outside, like you're watching a movie, right? Like, why do I do this? Why do I do that? I say I'm going to drink more water and I don't. I say I'm going to, eat healthier and I don't. I say I'm going to drink more water and I don't. And there's a whole bunch of I'm saying I'm going to, but I don't. Going to bed earlier. So what people tend to do a lot of is beat themselves up because they didn't follow through with what they say they were going to do. So prime example, right? I've done that for many, many years. And I sit back and I say, okay, I can sit here and help other people and do so much. But when it comes to taking care of me, for years, I struggled to put myself first. It was always everybody else because there was this very strong conviction about how I'm supposed to help other people. So we are all connected and it's very natural for us to want to help each other out. But when it gets to a point where you're putting yourself in the back seat or in the back burner, you really have to reassess your situation and say, okay, what exactly am I doing here? I tell my clients all the time that you are a battery. We are batteries. And we are constantly giving off charge to other people. That's just what we do, right? But nobody really sits down and plugs themselves in as a battery. So what happens when you have no more charge to give, right? The battery dies out. And with that comes a lot of resentment, comes a lot of bitterness because you're constantly helping other people. And it seems like when you need help, they're nowhere to be found. Now, it's very easy to want to do things for people. And I don't say you do things to receive, but many times we do things and it's not always reciprocated. And we shouldn't always do things to receive, but there does have to be a common exchange of energy. And we talk about that all the time. So if I'm going to help you out, let me help you out. I'm super blessed to have those friendships that I can pour into them and they pour into me. Like, it wasn't always this way. I've always had different type of friends, but the ones I have now, my circle, my healthy circle, are the ones that are constantly encouraging me to also pull out of my life, look into it and see how I can observe things, how I can make them better, how I can create healthier habits for myself. A lot of this comes from programming. So I know that people say all the time, like, I'm just this way, I've always been this way, and this is the way I was raised, my parents were this way, or the opposite. I always saw people in need and nobody did anything, so I feel like I have to help people now. So a lot of it is learned behavior. You saw other people or you didn't see them and you felt you had to fill this type of gap. And everything is fine with a healthy balance. So we have to make sure we're always being healthy in our decision making. So not always pouring too much into other people, and of course not always for yourself, because some people feel guilt after that, like I should be helping these people. So it took many, many years of practice for me to understand what it was that was happening in my life, how I was always making myself too available. And I know many of you people also struggle with this. So again, there's nothing wrong with doing it, but when you find it's taking a toll on you and now it's just by default, it's kind of a habit, I'm going to challenge you to create healthier habits where you're pouring into yourself first. I don't care if you just walk away for 5 minutes. I don't care if you're not always the first one at the party and the last one to leave because you're helping clean up, because there's certain habits that we've created where now we're just kind of doing them automatically. We're on this autopilot thing. So I want to make sure that you guys are really, really doing things after you're observing what you're doing. Don't just do it by default, okay? So that's how we're gonna start first. First, I want you guys to take assessment of your life when you get up in the morning, what you do, how you do it. Moms, you get up and you're helping the kids, whatever, then you're running out the door, you're screaming, you know, dads. There's a lot of things going on in your daily life. People calling you for advice, you are gonna do something, never mind somebody needs something else. Emergencies are different, but why is there always an emergency that takes you away from you? Why is there always something else that you have to take care of before you take care of yourself? So these are the things that I want you guys to really pay attention to in your daily lives, with your family, with your friends. I ask you guys all the time to assess the friendships you have, to assess the relationships you have, because many times I know that you're doing it for the right reasons, but some things just aren't giving, if that makes sense. So take inventory, check out your lifestyle, see what you're doing, how you're avoiding taking care of you, whether it's intentional or not, how you've learned these behaviors of doing way too much for others or always doing for them and not for yourself. And think about the things you want for your life. Do you want to create healthier habits? What do those healthy habits look like? And how can anybody encourage you to make those happen? We are going to create new habits, okay? If you've been doing something for a long time, it's very difficult to start doing something totally different. You have to ease your way into it, and they're very small, different things that you can do in your life. So I encourage my clients all the time to do things differently, right? So if you brush your teeth with your right hand, I want you to brush it with your left hand. Okay, if you get out of the bed on your right, get out of the bed on your left. Or if you're against the wall, get out through the feet. If you drink with your right, drink with your left. So start doing different things so we can start connecting different neural pathways in our brain, because I'm going to teach you guys how to get ready for changes. So this is so important for you guys to start doing. You are going to laugh because it's hilarious, but you're going to see how on autopilot you are, because sometimes we drive and we don't even know how the heck we get to where we got, right? Because we're so programmed. And this is our behavior. It's the same thing. Emotions, things that we do, things that we don't do, things that offend us, things that trigger us. A lot of them it's because they're habits that we formed, and many of them were unintentional. It just kind of happened to be. So I want you guys to really take the wheel of your own lives, assess your situation, figure out what it is you're doing that's working, and figure out what you're doing that's not working. And don't be afraid to do that. And really take an inventory of how that is actually coming back. Like, are you bearing fruits for this behavior? Are you constantly beating yourself up for this behavior? Are you constantly wanting to change this behavior? Are you fighting with friends or going through the same patterns with friends that you've been with forever and they just don't seem to change? And it's a version of being stuck. But there is a way that you can pour into yourself. There is a way that you can start creating different things, but we have to get rid of old programming. And the way we get rid of the old programming is by creating new ones and really analyzing yourself, right? Jumping out of your own life, looking at your life like a movie. And you're not being critical, you're not being horrendous, you're not judging yourself, you're just observing. You are the observer of your own life. You are the thinker of your thoughts. So you get to control everything in your life, you get to create. So I know that many times you said you're gonna create healthier habits and you're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff, but as much as you told yourself, you weren't able to do it. That's because we haven't gotten rid of the old programming yet. So you didn't do anything wrong, you're not a failure, you're simply programmed a little differently. So we look at the programming and change up the things that are not working, and then voila, you can jump into new habits. So I hope this has served you guys. If you found value in it, please share this video so we can spread awareness to other people. I have my event going on starting May 30th. The event is on my Facebook page right here. Look forward to seeing, meeting, hearing, and reading all your comments. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys here tomorrow. Coach Velia.